Shout out to ZocDoc for sponsoring this episode of Making Moves. For those of you that don't know, ZocDoc is a free app that shows you doctors who are patient-reviewed, take your insurance, and are available when you need them. On ZocDoc, you can find every specialist under the sun, whether you're trying to straighten those teeth, fix an achy back, get a mole checked out, or anything else, ZocDoc has you covered. Go to ZocDoc.com/moves and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then start your search for the top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/moves. ZocDoc.com/moves. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Making Moves. I'm here today with my new TikTok friend and fellow Indiana fan.
Fellow Hoosier. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks so much for coming. You just literally landed in Los Angeles.
I just hopped off the plane at LA.
Yeah.
I've been waiting to say that.
You did!
But yeah, no, I just landed.
What would you do if I would have had like a limo sent to you?
I mean, that would be iconic.
That would be crazy.
I would be really intimidated though. I'm really glad you did it.
Who the hell is
I'm like, wait, what's happening? Should I like be looking better now? Like,
also, limos are so like prom 2014, so that would be a little confusing.
That would be. I would think I'd be scared.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for coming. What are you doing in LA?
Literally just like I'm saying it's like work and play because I came here to like network a little. Like my manager lives here, so staying with her, super close with her. I have a ton of friends here, and then like I also have a bunch of influencer friends here that I never see. So I'm like, I needed to make a trip. I feel like everyone that's in LA comes to New York and does their rounds. It was my turn to go.
Have you been to LA before?
This is my third time.
Oh wow! Okay, great.
I came here a couple years ago for work.
Okay.
When I was doing like consulting, I was doing like social media management, and I was literally by myself. I was just telling my manager before this, I was like, I was staying in Santa Monica by myself, walking like at the pier by myself.
Wow, what a boss.
Went and got sushi, like ate it in my room. Like
corporate energy.
So I know.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I want to like have fun and like be social and like do cool things now.
So fun. It'll be such a different experience now because like this is like Instagram's asshole. Like everyone who has an Instagram or has a TikTok like lives here. Or
I know.
So many people. I feel like there's a lot in New York too, though.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot in New York. LA really intimidates me, to be honest.
Really?
Like, and you know what's funny? A lot of people in LA say the same thing about New York, but I'm like, LA, the influencers here scare me. Like I am scared. Like I'm not. I don't get intimidated easily, but it's just so like it's almost like I never see anyone in person, so it's almost like this unknown thing.
That's fair. I will say though, and now that I've lived here for like, I don't know, it's almost 8 years.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Oh my God, you've been here for a while.
I know. I went to college here. I didn't go to IU.
Yeah.
So ever since living here, I finally, after 8 years, like I feel like it's very rare when I run into the like mean influencer just trying to make it snarky person as much as when you first move here, right, which is like kind of nice too for you because you already have your internet friends, so you have an idea. That's the worst though, when you meet someone you follow and then you're like, you meet them in real life and they're just not the same, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of with here, because in New York, like, to be honest, from what I've experienced at least, maybe I'm biased because I am a creator, so people are going to treat me a certain way, but I feel like everyone's been like super nice and welcoming and open in New York. But in LA, I just like haven't had experiences with LA influencers yet, honestly.
Well, I hope you have a good experience.
You're the best. You're like so easy and nice, and you're already, I'm like, we get along.
I hope you have a good experience though, because it just, it depends. But I will say, there are good circles, believe it or not.
I know. I need to,
you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I feel like a lot of the internet likes to shit on the LA influencer, but whatever, there are good people out there.
I believe it. And obviously you're a good person, and my manager's a good person, and so
Yeah.
Gotta find the right people.
I know. I was like, I'll vibe with this girl. Mainly because we have the common denominator of you went to IU and I'm from Bloomington. Yeah. So tell me about that. Why did you decide to go to IU?
I know.
You're like an East Coast girl through and through.
I know. Everyone's like, why did you go to Indiana? But weirdly, like so many people from Jersey go to
New York.
And New York, go to Indiana.
Even LA too.
Yeah, it's crazy. LA, Chicago, New York, New Jersey is like,
it's because it's such a big like party school.
It is. So, and I was always like, I just want to go to a Big Ten school, and I wanted somewhere that like was so opposite from my hometown. And I just felt like Indiana, like I I did college for the social aspect. Like, I always knew I was going to have my own business. I always knew what I wanted to do. So I was like, I'm not going to, like, as fucked up as that sounds, I can curse, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to school to like buckle down and like be serious for 4 years. Like, I want to have a good social life and have fun. And I visited and I had the best time. And I was
Did
like,
you have a friend that went there?
I had like family friends that went there. And yeah, one of my family friends was like the reason, like she was so cool and she was older than me and she went to Indiana and I was like, she's so cool, I want to be like her. So she was an influence on that. And then when I went, I visited another family friend and she was in a sorority and I walked through the sorority house and I was like,
they're huge.
Crazy. Like I was like, I want this life. I want to live in a sorority house. My dad went to JMU, which is another like really like rah-rah school. And so he was like, at first I wanted to go to a city school and he was like, no, you don't understand. Like you need to like tailgate and like have a good time.
That's great.
Yeah. So he was the one who really pushed me to like look at Indiana like after seeing our family friends having so much fun. And I loved it.
Wow, that's so. I feel like it's rare to find someone that just like randomly goes, not even where their parents went.
Yeah.
Like where, you know what I mean? Like
It was
that's
completely
scary.
It was completely random and I knew nobody going into school.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
That's like really hard or underrated, like how hard that is.
Yeah, no, I had a hard time, like, honestly, all through college with, like, friends because it was always, like, where do I belong? Where do I fit, kind of? But I feel like I like my friends better now, like, in the city. Like, I have more connections, but I had so much fun at Indiana, like, I wouldn't do it over again.
Oh, great. That's good to, you know what, in college, those years, like, you're still figuring out yourself. Like,
I think a lot of people.
Like that's everyone's experience.
And a lot of people are insecure. Like, I just think I was so insecure that I, like, didn't have the security to, like, stand up for myself in certain situations.
Totally.
Like, I would be a people pleaser. So it's almost like partially I'm like, okay, it was my fault. I would, like, put myself in those positions to be, like, the weaker link. So now I'm more confident and I can surround myself with like better people.
Hell yes. I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
It's good to have a little progress,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, so I just want to know, like, from selfishly, like, what did you like? What did you not like about Indiana? Like, going there, living there. Give me the 411.
I got you. So, loved being in my sorority, loved living in the sorority house.
What, were you a
I was in
Tridel?
Tridel
Okay.
and we got kicked off campus.
Yes.
Iconic for literally doing nothing. But that was like probably like one of my highlights of Indiana, honestly. Like I loved my sorority. I know people have things to say about sororities and different experiences, but I personally had a great experience.
Were you there the whole time while it was still on campus? Or
We got kicked off my like junior year when I was going abroad. So I basically was unaffected by it because the prime years in the sorority are like
freshman, sophomore, yeah.
So by that time a lot of people end up like disassociating or moving off campus or whatever.
So you loved the sorority.
Loved the sorority aspect. Didn't like the boy aspect. Lot of fuck boys. A lot of cute boys.
Okay.
A lot of fuck boys.
Yeah.
And I was getting out of a relationship when I was like my like end of freshman, sophomore year. And so I was very fragile and guys would just be typical fratty college boys. And it was like kind of scarring and awful. But then it taught me, you know, what to not do in the future. But yeah, just the people in general, I found that, I don't know, this might be messed up to say, but I found that like a lot of the people weren't as like emotionally intelligent. Like I would go to Michigan and I would visit my friends there and like a lot of them had like a really good head on their shoulders. And because Indiana's such a party school, I think like I'm very mature though. Like I don't like love to go out 24/7. And I found that those people that were really into the going out culture maybe like didn't have as good as those like solid friendships or didn't want to just like, they didn't value like just hanging out with your friends on a Friday night, not doing something. So that was what was a downfall for me. Like I just felt like the people weren't, not everyone, but there were some people that weren't as genuine.
I mean, I feel like you can find those people anywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, or at least who I was surrounded by.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like when you're in college and that young, like sometimes you're like, I don't even know. What I want to do is get drunk.
Yes, and I want it to be cool. Like
that's very
I'm
emotionally mature of you to want to just chill and hang.
Yeah, but in the beginning of college, like all I wanted to be cool, just like everyone else. Like everyone goes to college and they're like, we want our high school friends to think that we're peaking.
Yeah,
and like so to be in like a sorority that I thought was like a good sorority and to like have all the like be surrounded by so many people, even if they weren't like really there for me, just to show that I had all these friends. Like that was like peak for me. Like even if I wasn't like really like happy with all of my people around me.
Absolutely.
But it's like, you know, you just want to like be cool because we're young. And that's
Of
what we
course.
think is like the best.
Exactly. And then what about Bloomington did you like not vibe with? Were you like, I could never live here my entire life? Did you like the tailgating or?
I honestly loved the small town feel. I freaking love Bloomington. Like, it's beautiful.
Yay.
It's in the fall. And like, I would literally just walk to class and I'd be like, I'm walking to math class right now and I'm really pissed about it. But like, look how beautiful this campus is. Like,
It is gorgeous.
it's beautiful. And it felt like home to me. It really, like, I made it my home for 4 years. There was really no like, I mean, the downside is it's like an hour out of from normalcy.
Yeah.
It's like so in the middle of nowhere. Like, but I mean, again, it's like you feel like at home there.
I know. That's the one thing growing up is like the closest city was like Indianapolis. And it's like, that's like an hour away. And it's like, okay, what does Indianapolis at the end of the day like truly have to offer?
Yeah.
Like, especially for big city people, like
Yes.
personality people. Like, and then the closest from that would be Chicago. And it's still like, New York is a flight and it's
Yeah.
far away. And same with LA. That's why I was like, I was opposite. I was like, I'm going to go exactly where I've never been. LA. And you did the opposite.
I don't blame you. I would be the same way though. 'Cause, yeah.
So it's no surprise that you're in New York now. I'm
Yeah.
sure to you and your family, right?
Yeah. Oh, that was always the plan. Yeah.
Got it. And then how did you land in like the social media space? Did you study that at all in college?
So it's such a long, like, weird story. But when I was back in high school, I was a gymnast, like, growing up my entire
Oh
life.
my gosh, same.
Really? Oh my God, no way.
So
like, you
awesome.
did competitive gymnastics? Oh my God.
Yes. Those long practices.
Yeah, those long 3.5 hour,
Yes.
5 day a week.
Insane.
Competitions on the weekends, no social
Yeah.
life. Yeah. So that was me for my entire life. And when I was a junior in high school, I was on my high school team and I tore my ACL.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and
that's
so
a huge injury.
It was like, obviously I needed surgery and it was a year recovery. And so that like put my whole life into perspective because for my entire life, gymnastics was my passion. That was like
life.
what I did socially and just like everything. And then all of a sudden I was like, now I need something else to do. Like, I'm depressed. Like, I need to like have a new passion. And I always loved health and fitness because of gymnastics, and my family raised me in just like kind of the fitness world. And I always loved fashion, and I was passionate about giving advice to people. And at the time, like Ariel Charnas and like We Were What, they were like the ones on the scene in New York. And I was so inspired by them. Like, I was like, this is so cool. Like, they're literally just like having these blogs and like posting their life, and they're making a living off of it. So I started a blog. It was called All Things C. Everyone in my high school made fun of me.
Wait, you started this in high school?
Yeah, when I tore my ACL, I started a blog.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 16 years old. It
Slay.
was 2013.
Okay.
So it was like really like the beginning of bloggers, and like everyone had like a website. It was literally a blog.
Got
It
it.
wasn't even Instagram at the time.
Did you watch like vloggers at all, or it was mainly you were keeping up with people's blogs?
I liked the YouTube. Like, I always followed YouTubers, but I didn't like aspire to be a YouTuber. I always aspired to be like, I almost was leaning more towards like lifestyle and fashion in like the Instagram way.
Terry Bradshaw.
Yes.
Okay.
And like, I wanted the perfectly curated feed vibe.
Got
I
it,
thought
got
that's
it.
what
Blogger.
I thought that was going to be my success.
Got it.
But whatever. So I made my blog. I started going to Fashion Week. All through college, I was doing like internships in the fashion world, and just continuing to like come back to New York and try to just like get my foot in the door any way I could. And I just have always had that entrepreneurial sense. So when it was graduation time, I was like, I can't work for other people. Like, I did the internship thing. I worked corporate. Like, I felt the corporate world, and I was like, this isn't for me. I can't do it. I'll be unhappy. So when I graduated, I got an opportunity, which was what brought me to LA the second time around. Basically, I was traveling around shooting content for like a mall brand, like
Whoa.
Simon Malls.
Yeah.
Because my dad was like, he worked for the company at the time.
No way.
So the CEO approached me and was like, we're trying to make some changes in like the marketing, social media. We need someone really fresh to come in. So I just literally traveled around the entire summer after I graduated
Shut up.
and did content for Simon. Went to like the Toronto premium outlets here, like Palm Springs, San Francisco, just everywhere.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was like it was definitely connections. But from there, I built my entire portfolio off of just that one experience and like my blog and what I'd done in the past. And then people started approaching me like, oh, hey, can you come do social media for us? So that was when my business started. I started doing consulting for all these different companies.
Oh my gosh.
Doing social media. And that's when like my social media life started. And my sister at the time was posting on TikTok. She's also like an influencer.
Oh my gosh, awesome.
Yeah. So she was posting on TikTok. She had like 30K or something. And I was like, all right, for my clients, I need to get on TikTok and just learn the app.
Yeah.
And I started getting followers on it. And I was like, okay, I still am passionate about all the things I was passionate about before. I'm going to use this as my new outlet instead of like a blog or Instagram, which I was never successful at. And then that was that.
It's so funny because like from my perspective, I'm like, it's so clear that TikTok is your platform or video because like your personality is so strong and you have like a lot to say and it's good.
Thank you.
That's why like, you know what I mean? That versus like an aesthetic, like it's easier to have like a great aesthetic than to, not that it's easy, but than to have like a strong, powerful, exciting personality, you know? And that's scary to show up and just film yourself all the time.
Yeah.
Put yourself out there.
It's so funny though because it came so much easier to me. Like I really struggled all through college when I was trying to be like the Instagram girl.
Yeah.
Like I was like trying to make a perfect feed.
No, it's definitely hard.
It's hard, but it's like you overthink it and it's
100%.
like sometimes I'm just like it's actually better to not overthink it and just be yourself, at least in my case. So when I started just being myself and just like posting random things on TikTok, it gave me that creative freedom to actually just post what I want to post. And that was when I saw the success.
So now you're full-time TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, I have like one client left.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I literally like this entire year have been slowly dropping off clients since I started just because it like got too overwhelming with doing both. But I still like have a little bit of a passion for doing the social media side and like the marketing side of things.
I will say too, it's like being a follower and a fan myself. I feel like you having that and even implementing your day to day, like working with other clients in your content would be interesting to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like that you have that because not everyone does, you know?
Yeah, I used to do that a lot. I used to, when I had like a full roster of clients, that used to be like, oh, day of my life, like showing what I did. And then I got less passionate about it because I got more passionate about my own
great.
brand. Selfishly, it's like you want to work on you.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Shout out to ZocDoc for sponsoring this episode of Making Moves. If your doctor can recite every line from the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but can't remember your name, it's time to get a new doctor with ZocDoc. ZocDoc makes it so easy to find quality doctors in your network and in your neighborhood. Plus, with real verified patient reviews, you can find the right doctor for you, one that actually remembers your name. For those of you that don't know, ZocDoc is a free app that shows you doctors who are patient reviewed, take your insurance, and are available when you need them. I personally love ZocDoc because I think it's the perfect thing to use, especially if you just moved to a new city, don't have many friends yet, and you're looking for any kind of doctor. This is an amazing app to go to because they'll give you actual good recommendations that are in line with your insurance and all the things. It is just fabulous. I know it can be intimidating when you move to a new city and you're trying to find your spots, your doctors, and ZocDoc ultimately has the best recommendations for doctors. On ZocDoc, you can find every specialist under the sun, whether you're trying to straighten those teeth, fix an achy back, get a mole checked out, or anything else, ZocDoc has you covered. ZocDoc's mobile app is as easy as ordering a ride to a restaurant or getting a delivery to your house. Search, find, and book doctors with just a few taps. Go to ZocDoc.com/moves and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then start your search for the top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/moves. ZocDoc.com/moves. I know you were talking a little bit about how you first got your foot in the door with the Simon thing.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for someone that's like about to graduate and they're like, I've never moved to a big city, I don't have connections, like how the fork do they get their foot in the door?
So I was lucky, and like I will say, like I had the privilege of like my dad having those connections for me, like when I went to Fashion Week, but my main thing is like, if I didn't have that connection, I would still be where I am because you just need to literally utilize any connection you can find, whether it's a friend, a family member, reach out to people on social media. Like, do not hold back, like be aggressive, because the people that are more aggressive are the ones that are going to get further.
Absolutely.
Like even the girls that have like slid in my DMs a million times and been like, can I be your assistant? They have a better chance than the people that didn't do that at all. So it's like, just literally use any connection, work any connection you have, even if it's like so slight. You see someone on LinkedIn that like you saw one time, that's like a connection to someone else that you want to work for. Utilize it.
Absolutely. I think I always try to emphasize like there's a huge difference between being persistent and crossing the line
Yes.
of being
Oh my God.
like invasive.
Yes, you don't want to be creepy about it.
Yeah.
But there's a classy way to be stern and
be extremely persistent.
be confident. Yes, without being like overstepping and being creepy.
Absolutely. So what do you feel like popped you off on TikTok? Like what type of content do you think resonates the most with people that you make?
To be honest, anything that was authentic to my life was what was going to be doing well. But the thing with me is that my whole life I was unsuccessful in quotes because like I was still like working hard, but I never like saw the following come when I was working really hard but posting sporadically. Like I would hype myself up in my head like you can't post unless it's perfect. When I joined TikTok,
I did that too.
yes.
Yeah.
So I literally was like frozen and I was like I can't.
Perfectionism was your biggest weakness.
Perfectionism, yes. It made me unsuccessful because I would be like,
Wow,
you can't
that's good.
post, you can't do anything until it's perfect. So now it was like when I joined TikTok, it was the opposite. I was like, you're just going to post every day. It can be the most shit content. I don't care. Just be consistent and show up. And that was when I saw the change. That was like literally the biggest breakthrough I ever had was like, just showing up every day, even if the content wasn't great. It was just being there because something is always better than nothing. And I used to think it was the opposite.
Yes. Oh, that's so true. I think that resonates with so many people who are perfectionists. And like, have you ever taken the Enneagram test?
Yeah.
What are you?
ENFJ. And I'm
Oh
also.
wait, no, that's the Myers-Briggs.
Oh, that's Myers-Briggs.
Have you taken the
The Enneagram is like the
number,
numbers.
yeah.
I think I'm 8, but I'm like
Oh,
multiple.
you're the challenger. Okay,
I think.
Okay, honestly, I could see it.
Okay.
I'm a 3. But
Okay, what is that?
You remind me of a 3, which is like the achiever.
I think I have parts of 3.
Probably.
Because
I'm
it,
sure you
it
do.
showed up with multiple for me. Like I
Okay.
remember it being multiple.
I'm sure you do. But anyway, it's like one of those things where, again, perfectionism is your biggest weakness. And like, especially with YouTube, with me, I used to never upload my shit because I would edit it. And then I'd be like, I don't look good enough in
good,
this.
yeah.
The edit could be better here. I could have filmed this better.
Yeah.
My text could have been. And then it was just my biggest weakness.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest things you can do to help yourself is recognizing your weakness and going the opposite way like you did.
100%. And just like even what you're saying with looks too, like I would be
Beat
like
myself
so
up.
I would be so strict about you are not going to be I would literally tell myself like you're not going to be successful until you are the ideal version of like what you want to look like. And then it's so funny because I always thought like you need to be thin in order to be successful. And then now I like way more than I did back then and I'm more successful now than I ever was. And it just shows like it doesn't fucking matter. Like
It's weird, but it makes so much sense.
yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy how like my perfectionism literally like made
Was your
me-
worst enemy.
It was my worst enemy. And when I just let go a little, then I was like, okay, that's what success looks like.
Well, you've seemed to develop such an awesome confidence and like aura around you. I feel like when I watch your videos, like I know I'm going to feel good after I watch it. So what do you feel like you've learned just from like posting, having success, like confidence wise? What do you feel like you've learned?
I think that mainly just like it's all a facade a lot of the time. Like
Wow.
everyone's always struggling. I mean, not for me personally.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying though, like everyone looks at me and they say she's so confident. And I think like with a lot of creators that have confidence as kind of one of the pillars of like their content, they think like you are so confident. How can I be like you? But it's like nobody is perfect. We all go through the bad days, the good days. And honestly, I have some weeks and some months where I have a little more bad days than good days. Like we
all do.
all are on a roller coaster. So it's like if there's one main thing I learned, it's like we're all human and whoever you're looking at online and whoever you think is like the ideal vision of like what your life should look like, it's not. Everyone's always a work in progress. So it's like I'm never going to claim to be like I made it because I'm just constantly getting better and working on myself.
I think that's so cool to like even admit, just because I feel like sometimes it's the people too that talk about it the most in their content are even the ones that struggle the most with confidence sometimes. Because like I feel like the stuff I talk about the most is sometimes the stuff I struggle with the most.
Oh my God, 100%.
Because it's like top of mind.
Yeah, and people will be like, it's funny you say that because people will always be like, well, why do you talk about body image so much? Why do you talk about your body so much? And I'm like, because
I'm dealing with it every day.
It's the biggest struggle. It's one of the biggest struggles in my life. Like my entire life I've struggled with how I feel about myself. And so it's like, yeah, I'm going to talk about it. I'll beat it to death if I have to.
Literally.
Because it's like we're all thinking about it. And this is my outlet too, as much as it's my job now and whatever. It's also like therapeutic to just like talk about things.
100%. Sometimes even to the camera, like I'm saying what I should say to convince myself that day.
Yeah, 100%.
If it's a bad day.
Oh my God. And I love that though, because I think sometimes it's really therapeutic as a creator to like give yourself a pep talk, but you're giving other people a pep talk, but you're giving yourself a pep talk too.
Absolutely. What would you say, like when you are struggling with confidence just in general, like what are some tips and tricks you always resort to?
Get out of the mirror. Like stop looking in the mirror.
Okay.
Because I think like people have this idea that like if you look in the mirror and are like, you're so beautiful, you're so hot, that like that's gonna help you. But I think on the other hand, it's like, why are we valuing beauty so much, and why aren't we thinking about all the other amazing things that we are on this earth for? Like you're literally like a smart, like I just think of all the things that I am. I'm smart. I love my family. My family loves me. Like I have great friends that I'm surrounded by. I love my city. Like I love my job. All these things, like I'm making an impact on people. What does that have to do with how I look? So that's what brings me confidence. Like my confidence has nothing to do. You kind of have to erase the exterior part. So that's why I'm always like, if you feel bad about yourself, just stop looking at yourself and think about who you are as a person and let that hype you up.
Absolutely. It was funny the other day. Like these past couple of weeks and months, ever since I turned 25. Let me know if you agree. I feel like I just feel different turning 25.
I love that for you.
I feel older.
I felt old immediately, and I was like, "Why am I old now?"
It's like I felt older. I felt also the most content but confused I've ever been.
Yes.
Like quarter life crisis.
Because you're young and old.
Yes.
Like half the people in the world are like, oh my God, 25, like you're old. And then the other half are like,
you're
so young.
Yes.
Like you've so much to figure out. And it's so true. You're like, half my friends are married. Half my friends are like still going on benders every weekend. Like, I don't know.
100%.
Yeah.
So I've been like, it's funny, like I've been getting all this confidence with saying no to things or saying yes to things or whatever. But then I've also been questioning stuff I've never questioned before. Like, are we actually good friends? Or like, will they be in my life forever? Like just I've been like, the mind has been wandering, right? And I was thinking, I had this inner dialogue with myself the other day, which is so stupid, but so true. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like going through, I'm on my period. I feel like I've gained 80 million pounds. Like I feel like ass.
Yeah.
I'm breaking out like crazy. My like hormones are going bananas, right? And I'm like showing up to my friend's house and they genuinely aren't going to, first of all, give a shit and notice. And I really had to like convince myself like they aren't friends with me because of how I look or feel. They're friends with me because I'm fucking awesome.
Exactly.
And I'm like fun to be around and I'm a good friend.
Yeah.
And they're learning something from me. And it's just another variation of what you just said.
100%.
All the things you bring to the table other than looks. But I really had to have that inner dialogue with myself being like, okay, but like actually no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And if your friends did give a shit, then those are the wrong friends.
That's weird.
Yeah. That's weird. You're like, you look so terrible. Weird. You're like, what?
Like people don't notice that.
Yeah, never. Oh my God, never. You're always thinking so hard about what you look like. It's like when you go out and you have a bad outfit or like you have a bad hair day.
You're like, oh my, like they see this.
Everyone's like, you look exactly the same as you look every single day. I'm like, you're probably right, but I don't feel that way.
Same goes for when I feel like I look like fire. Yeah. And I'm like, why is no one complimenting me?
Yeah, I'm like, I look stunning today. Yeah, because
no one cares.
Everyone thinks you look the same every day.
Exactly.
So sad when you think about it.
I know, but you know what? It is really though like how you feel. That's why I love finding a clothing item when I'm like,
yes,
no matter what you actually feel like, this will make you feel good.
Yes. Oh my God, that's the best.
It is the best. Anyway, it seems like you have made some fabulous post-grad friends.
Yes.
Tell me about it. I feel like a lot of people struggle with graduating and they're like, I have no friends. I just moved to a big city. Like, how do you find the good ones? Give us the 411.
Literally, like, I mean, LA is probably the same as New York in the way that, like, you really can meet people in the weirdest ways.
That's crazy.
Like, one of my best friends to this day, I met her. I was on a date with a guy. This guy asked me out. He was like, can you come to a work dinner? And I was like, well, that's a little weird, but like, I'm just going to say yes and go. So I went to a work dinner with him and he had clients like at the dinner.
Oh,
and
wow.
this girl who was like, she's adorable. She was one of the clients, like he did finance.
Oh my God, you made a TikTok about this.
I made a TikTok about this.
Yes.
So good. She's literally my best friend. Like she's one of my best friends.
That is crazy.
And we were across the table. We were like just chatting it up, and we were like, oh my God, we have so much in common. And it was one of those things where like we actually were gonna see each other after that. Like it wasn't like, oh my God, let's hang out. Like
yeah.
We were like, no, like we're being best friends. we had like a crush on each other in like a friend way. Like we were just like obsessed with each other. And so like literally a week later we hung out and been inseparable ever since.
That's hilarious. What happened to the dudes? I need to know.
Oh, they're F them.
Both of them are like gone?
Well, okay, so the guy that I went on the date with, he like doesn't even live in New York anymore. But we were like hooking up for a while after that, but I was done with him. He wasn't it. It was more fun for me than anything. And then the other guy that was like he was another client, he's still like best friends with her. And it's like a whole like work drama craziness because
That
they
is
like
hilarious.
Yeah, there's like love triangles. Like there's all kinds of crazy stuff that I can't say because they'll probably get fired from their job.
I am dead.
But yeah, like crazy. And now we're like literally so close. Like hang out every day.
I love it. What do you feel like is the key to like finding that though? I know it's like that was spontaneous, but like how did you know she was a good person to follow up with? And like,
so
you know
my
what I mean?
therapist it's so funny before I moved to the city, I was like to my therapist, I just want people that are like me. Like I want people that are like hardworking and like I kept naming like all these things like have good values, are hardworking, but like to have fun. And my therapist was like, you just want like-minded people.
Yeah.
And she's like, you need to start looking for like-minded people. And for a while it was hard. Like I was like looking and I was like, okay, not really, that's not my favorite person, that's not my favorite person. And you just have to know like the qualities, like you have to have very specific qualities that you look for and like don't settle for less. Like I knew that I deserved like a good friend because in the past I didn't always have that. So when I thought of those qualities, she was that person. And then whenever I met someone, I just went through those qualities in my head, like do they meet up to like my standards? And I know it sounds weird because you use that kind of in a relationship sense, but it works in a friendship sense too.
Yeah,
because you want your friends to be truly there for you. Like once you're out of college and you're out of all of the BS, you just want like real people that are like there.
Well, and graduating college, like you're actually on your own, and it's like you need friends almost that are family. Like, you know, in the city, if my car like gets totaled and I'm on the side of the freeway, it's like I can't call my mom and dad.
Yeah.
Like they're in Indiana.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like I need to have good friends that I can call.
100%.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
What about more like on a smaller scale? Like what advice would you give to someone that is like, where do people meet friends other than I guess randomly? But like some people say, go to your favorite workout classes, go to the park. Like what?
Honestly,
do you have any tips or tricks?
My whole thing is like find one person, just one single person, and go hang out with their friends and then go hang out with their friends. Because everyone in a big city, especially when you're young, everyone is so eager to meet people. Everyone's like, just bring your friend, bring your friend. So the way I met like so many people was through friends of friends. So it's like just find literally one person that you can like grab dinner with and then have her invite her friend from college and then have her invite her friend from home and so on and so forth. And like that's how you network and make friends. It's like literally just using even just one person that you know.
It's like a giant web. Like
it is a giant web.
In LA, it's actually so small once you're in it.
Yeah.
Would you say the same with New York?
1,000%.
Yeah.
It's like everyone walks in the same circles. And I'm like, I thought college was like that.
Yeah.
And I go to New York and I'm like, it's even crazier.
It
like,
is weird.
It's so crazy.
And then you're like, whoa, like my TikTok friend knows my other friend's hometown friend.
Yeah.
You're like, wow.
And you're like, I didn't think work would like mix with any of this. And it does. It's so crazy.
It does. Tell me about your dating life.
My dating life absolutely sucks.
It's okay. Just like every other 25-year-old in a big city.
It sucks, but I've been doing better. For a while I was on this kick of like,
No, you're inspiring me. I'm like, I should go on a date.
no, but for a very long time I was like, I'm focused on me. I didn't have the desire. Like nothing in me was like, I really want to go on a date.
It's so weird, and I've always had a crush.
Yeah, me too. And I want to be around guys, and I want to be with guys, but it's like I didn't have the desire to like go on a date with someone. It kind of like
I so get that.
It icked me out and it stressed me out. And I was like, I don't want to be stressed. The only thing I care to stress about is like my job and like that kind of thing. Like I don't need to be stressed about
So fair.
men. But then
It's a full-time job, dating.
It's a full-time job.
It's another full-time job.
But so I just waited. I said to myself, like, the universe, like, it will happen when it's supposed to happen. And I just waited until I felt ready. And then I just started feeling ready. Like, I started feeling like, okay, I want to start, like, dating again. And so in the last, like, couple of months even, I've just been a little more consistent. It hasn't been anything crazy. Some of my friends are, like, serial daters and go on dates every week. That'll never be me.
I wish that was me.
Yeah, I mean,
That's not
I
me.
would probably have a better success rate if it was me, but it's not. And I like, but I like that we're like this because it's like we're independent, we know our worth, and if someone comes along, we're not just going to stop for anyone.
Yeah.
If the right person comes along, we're only going to stop for like the truly right person that you have a connection with. But yeah, I just been casually dating. Like, I literally rarely go on even a second date. I just kind of mess around. I don't like most people. I'm very picky. But I was happy with my date last night. Actually, went well.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
And is this an app? Not on an app?
So it was Hinge, but like friend of a friend.
Okay, that's perfect.
Which that's my rule of thumb with Hinge or with an app. It's like I'll go out with you, but I want to know that we at least have someone in common, so I feel safe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How do you get to that level? Are you like
Literally just like check Instagram, see if we have mutuals.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And or like I see what school they went to, screenshot it, send it to a friend that went to that school, see where they're from, send it to a friend that's from that place. Like
Figure it out the day before.
yeah, and I've been in situations where I haven't had any mutuals, but like they were from a place in Long Island that I knew of, and it was like normal enough. But I'm careful because you never know.
Yeah. And
People are
you don't
weird.
want to waste your time.
And that's another thing. I don't want to waste my time.
Why did this one go well? Were you just like, I fucking have a crush on you when you sat down? Do you know what I mean? Like, or was it anything in particular?
Great question. I like literally don't know. Like it just was
Oh,
like
I think you just like him.
I just think he was actually just like a nice guy. And at first he was very shy. Like it was more like he was like, it felt like he was holding back a little. He was, it's awkward in the beginning of a date when you
Oh,
first
yeah,
sit
it's
down,
so
you're like waiting
awkward.
for your drinks to come and you're like,
Yeah.
what do I do? But then as things went on, I was like, oh, the conversation's good. It flows. I felt comfortable with him. And I don't know. I just was like, it was because I'm very like, it doesn't have to do with like physical attraction for me as much as it's like a chemistry thing. And it was just a chemistry thing. I felt like he was cute. We had things in common and that was that.
Did you, on the app, were you like, this guy's hot, I need to go on a date with him? Or were you just like, okay, I guess I will? Because I feel like I struggle with like, I'll dilly-dally on the app and then I'm like, I don't want to see them.
You're
Like,
literally me. You're literally me.
So I'm like, please tell me a tip or trick on how to get myself out there because I feel like guys don't look cute in their photos. And I'm like, "Meh."
I know. It's okay. Part of it is like once you get out there once or twice, it's a
Yeah.
lot easier to kind of push yourself to do it. But I think the other thing
but
is
also like, no, because
I
I've done
know, but I'm literally like you, and I'm telling you, it was just a matter of time because I, for the longest time, was like that, and then something just changed in me. Like it was either a maturity thing or like I just got a stronger desire to like have someone, but like the desire wasn't strong enough before, so I didn't care enough.
Got it.
But for you, it truly might be that way, and that's okay. Like nobody is like forcing you to like. I don't get what the standards are when our families are all like, are you dating? Do you have a boyfriend yet? Do you have this? Do you have that?
Oh, it's so weird.
And
I feel
I'm
like
like-
they just have nothing else to talk
Yeah,
about.
I'm
Like they
like,
don't
why?
understand TikTok, so they don't know what to talk about with me.
literally.
And I'm like, ha, slay. And they're like,
Yeah.
what? Wait, what? Like they don't understand. I'm
Like the
literally like,
grandparents are always like my grandparents are always like, what?
That's the
like,
only thing they ask.
That, and
don't
I'm
know
like,
what else to ask.
Yeah, literally, that's it. And I'm like, do you realize like we're like strong, independent women, and like we don't have to date every 5 seconds?
Well, I'm just like, can you just like fucking watch Euphoria so we can talk about something else? Like,
literally,
like, do you know what I mean?
anything else. But
I'm
just
like,
don't,
watch a goddamn show.
don't ask me about my love life because it sucks.
Literally. I'm like, I want to talk about Zendaya and
Yes,
Rue.
yes,
Yeah.
Period.
Like, I don't want to. I don't have the D.
But for
HBO
you,
does.
when the true.
Anyway, continue.
For you, when the time, you'll feel it when the time
Okay.
comes. But for now, if you feel like fucking around on an app and just like talking to people and getting your foot in the door a little, there's nothing wrong with that. Like,
Wait, but do you feel the desire currently? You're like,
yes,
oh.
I feel it. And
As in, you want a boyfriend?
yeah, I'm
Okay.
looking for a relationship.
Okay, I
Before
feel like I'm getting there.
I was okay. So then just wait because I'm
I'm
telling
in my
you.
third quarter.
I felt that like I was like I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet. And now I'm like right on the cutting edge where I'm like I feel like I'm almost ready. Like I'm just about ready. But I wasn't. I knew my like you might just honestly deep down not be ready for it yet. Because if you are ready, you're gonna do it.
Yeah, you're right.
And like I would do the same thing. I would be like, look, I would have such high standards and like look for like the hottest guy on the app. And if they weren't like exactly my type, I would like X them. But now I started changing it where it's like, even if they're not like, oh my God, so attractive to me, I'm like, when I meet someone in person, I'm not looking at them like, are they the ideal
I know.
vision?
That's why I'm trying to tell myself.
Because on an app, it's like you're just judging. But when I meet someone in person, it's never, I don't care about looks. I care about, again, like the connection, the chemistry. So I try to just lower the standard a little, give more people a chance. And I'm still picky. And there's nothing wrong with that. But
oh, no. I always try and remember, too, like my guy friends that, you know how you have guy friends, you're like, he's kind of hot, like whatever. But like, initially when I met them, I never was like, oh, they're hot.
Yes.
Now that I know them, I'm like, they're hot.
oh my God.
Do you know what I mean?
I have so many
so I
situations.
try and remember that with the app too. I'm like, okay, this could be my future best guy friend.
It's so true. Because
that I end up dating.
all my guy friends, I've ended up like hooking up
Yeah.
with accidentally and being like, oops, like I do think they're hot now. Because at first it starts with a friendship and then it turns into like,
And then they're funny, and then they get the good job.
and then you like know them really well. And then you get jealous when you
And
see
they
them with
think
like,
you're funny. And they think you're
they
cool.
give you attention.
Yeah. And then they're just there.
Yeah, and you're
in
like,
your bedroom.
I'm
No,
bored.
kidding. Okay.
Like, how did this happen?
I love this. I feel like it's hard to. We almost have so much access to dating that's hard.
Oh, I'm like completely.
You know what I mean? You're always like, oh, there could be. Let me X because there might be someone better.
I think that's the biggest problem. I even heard like a relationship expert talk about this, where she was like, people just like have too many options, and like when you have too many options, you freeze and you're never gonna do anything about it. You need to like lessen your options. So like if you're going on Hinge, like only like 1 to 2 people, or only try to talk to really 1 to 2 people, and just date 1 to 2 people, and then really try to narrow it down by like the third date. Like really, because when you give yourself options, it's not helping you. It's not serving you. It's only making things.
Confusing.
It's more confusing. It's just making things more difficult.
Well, you're inspiring me. I really want to go on more dates just so I can.
Come to New York,
Have
we'll
more
go
to
on
talk-
double dates.
Yes.
Like literally.
would love
That's my
that.
favorite thing to do. Double dates is so much easier.
Yeah, they are. And then
It's
it's
more
like
chill.
if they're weird, I can just talk to you.
Exactly. We're like, oh, we have somewhere to be actually.
Gotta go. Anyway, okay. This podcast is called Making Moves. So I want to ask you your 5 best moves. I have 5 different questions.
Okay.
It's a fun little segment that we're going to do. So the first question is, you can answer it rapid fire or you can go deep, whatever
Okay.
you want.
Okay.
First question is, best dating move you've ever made?
Best dating move I've ever made. Honestly, like, this is going to sound really messed up, but like ignoring the person, like being hard to get. Because men always want what they can't have. This is going to be like, people are going to be like, you're not a feminist. I'm going to be like, it's fine. But like, I'm sorry, but guys want what they can't have. And when you give them so much access to you, it's not fun anymore. You got to give someone a little something to work with. So my best dating move is just make a guy work hard for it. Don't just like be so easy and be so available. Make yourself a little hard to get, a little unavailable.
I think what you're saying is like, you're not even playing hard to get. You just are hard to get.
Yes. You
Which is attractive.
people your
Like, you're busy.
energy and it's like for anyone, like your energy and who you are is so important and is so like, you should value that so much. So like, be careful who you're letting into your space and letting into your life. Like,
I love it.
yeah.
It's just it's being busy, being hard to get.
Yeah.
Like even whether it's a friend, a random person
100%.
that's trying to work with you, or a guy.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, best money move you've ever made.
Oh my God, I'm like the worst budgeter ever.
You are?
But honestly, best money move I ever made was just like starting my own business, because like it was so rough at first, but just keeping my head down and sticking it out and like not underselling myself. Like I knew my worth off the bat, and even if at first it seemed a little bit like too much, in the end it was like I just knew my worth. So just like having clients like pay me the right amount and like asking for what I deserved off the bat kind of thing. That's what really helped my business take off in the beginning.
Absolutely. I even think like, because as women, I feel like a lot of times I hold myself back more than I think. Like if I thought my rate should be $1,000, I would be like, okay, let me do it for $800, right? When really you should be doubling that and then coming back.
Yes.
So you should really be, if you think your rate is 1,000, like go for the 2,000.
100%.
And then come back or whatever, which is essentially what you're saying.
100%.
But I love that. Okay, cool. Best business move you've ever made.
confidence and just like being aggressive. Like anything that I would do, I would kind of, I guess you could say it's like fake it till you make it.
Okay.
Like if I walk in a room, I could have been 16 years old, but I was still going to act like I knew my shit and I knew what I was doing. And I think anyone that you can do something and be so great at something, but if you don't have that confidence and that confidence in yourself and your work, then you're not going to be as successful. So it's just like, even if you don't have it at first, just fake it until you make it.
With your job, this is a follow-up question. With your job currently, how are you implementing being aggressive?
Honestly, like when it comes to my rates and just like working with brands, I'm never going to settle for less. Like if a brand doesn't give me what I want, then that's fine. We don't have to work together. If a brand's not the right fit, like if it's like not a brand that I believe in or they've done something in the past that's like a little iffy to me, I won't work with them. I think those are just like holding yourself to a certain standard is like the most important thing.
Love it. Best physical move you've ever made?
Best physical move?
So like moving to New York.
Oh, okay.
Going to IU, or it can be literally physical. Like going for a run. I don't care.
Honestly, like I would say like living in Florence was probably
because you went abroad.
Yeah, it was pretty life-changing. It like put things into perspective.
Why?
It just like living in a place that's not, it's like so opposite. Like in Florence, it's not like you have your local Starbucks. You have your like, you're speaking other people's language, or like I don't know how to speak Italian, but like you're adjusting to someone else's culture and living like other people do, and it's like you're putting yourself in someone else's shoes and you're living in a way that you're not used to. You don't have access to the things you're used to having access to. It's just like it was like a challenging but like really fun and rewarding time, and it just opened my eyes to so much. And it honestly, like I never knew how much I loved to travel and explore until I actually lived abroad.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this is like, I'm truly passionate about like seeing other cultures and how other people live.
What do you feel like were some of the most eye-opening things about traveling to Florence?
Honestly, like I just feel like being on my own, like so far away, like I could have been anywhere. I mean, honestly though, the part about Florence is that it's so cut off from the rest of the world. Like it's like it's very, it's old fashioned. Like it is as old fashioned as it comes. You are living in literally like one of the oldest places
so cool
ever. And I would like go into I took classes about like these palaces. I took this class called Palaces of Florence, and I was like walking in all these old palaces where these people used to live. Like I think those were the most eye-opening things, being like the world is so much bigger than just like what we're doing, and like it goes so much farther back than just like where we are now. It was just cool learning about like the history of everything and like where we come from, and just appreciating it more.
I am going there for a wedding in May, so I'm gonna have to text you for Rex.
I got you. I'm so excited,
for your Rex.
Oh my God.
It'll be fun.
That's
is there
the best
anywhere
time,
you're
too.
dying to go to? Places you've been dying to go to?
Bali, like weirdly. I mean, that's not that weird, but like it's so far. It's like it's a trek.
I would love to do that too.
Bali and Greece, but I always say Greece is like my honeymoon spot.
Oh,
like,
Greece, you would love.
Yeah,
You gotta do Greece.
I've been trying to go for so long, and then it just ends up not happening because I end up going somewhere else. But
Did you not go there on the cruise?
no,
Where'd you guys go on the cruise?
Spain, like a little bit of Italy,
London.
France.
You did London,
We
too.
did London, but that was just like some of it wasn't the cruise. Some of it we
Got
just like
it.
did on our own. Like London and Paris, we did on our own.
Got it.
Mallorca did on our own. But yeah,
So fun. Yeah, I was living vicariously through your cruise
it was
content.
the best. I'm not a cruise girly, but it was fun.
Oh, really?
Oh, and I hate cruises.
Why?
I just am not a boat girl. I don't like boats. I don't like a cruise. I thought it was like, it's so funny. Like we'd walk on the boat and they'd be like, "Hey, sailors," and I'd be like, this is so tacky." Like I'm like, I can't do. But like Jazz like lived for it. Like Jazz is going on like every Virgin Voyages cruise there ever was, and I'm like happy for her. I'm like, you go, like you work with them again. Like I think she's gonna work with them again. But I'm not like I appreciate the traveling, but I'm not a boat girl.
Got it. Did you do like legit a deal with them?
No,
when
we
you
just
travel?
we literally just like it was gifted
Oh
basically.
my gosh, but that's so awesome.
Yeah, we just like worked with them and in exchange for posts. So I don't really have any like.
And had you been on the cruise, or had you been on a cruise prior to this one?
I went when I was 14 on a Carnival cruise on a teen
Hell
tour.
yes.
On a teen tour.
Hell yes.
And I hated it that time too. So
You did?
Yes. My family, I think it's like how you're raised. Like my family never raised me going on cruises. So I think I'm not used to it. And like my parents were always like, we don't like boats. We don't like doing a cruise. So I think I was partially like brainwashed because of that. But I don't know. I would just rather be on solid land. Like I get a little bit like I just want to be on land.
And that's so fine. That is so fine, babe. Okay, best mental health move you've ever made.
God, best mental health move. I would say like therapy. And you know what? Best mental health move: unfollowing people on social media that give me bad vibes. Like the amount like that people would consume me, if even just someone like that I was jealous of their body or something. Like that's valid. Like protect your peace. Like if someone's look is like making you uncomfortable or it hurts you, you don't need to go hate on their page. Just mute them or unfollow them.
A mute is like the best because I know I get anxiety like
you don't
about
want someone
unfollowing someone. Yeah,
completely. But like with me, like this was back before I had any followers, and I was just following a bunch of like influencers. And if an influencer was like body checking all the time or anything that was like triggering to me, or if they was just negative, unfollow them. Like there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You have to put. Even if you don't like, there's these things are all subconsciously going into your brain and you're absorbing it. So you have to protect what you're absorbing.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, that wraps up our 5 best moves. Those were Carly's 5 best moves. On the other hand, instead of from unfollowing, who are people on the internet that like you love following, you're fueled by?
Oh my God, so many. Like anyone, honestly, like everyone that's like does the body positivity stuff or just body neutrality on like TikTok and Instagram. I'm like, I can't even think of people off the top of my head, but like and just people that I love Elise Myers. She does like
Oh my God, I've never heard of her.
She's so great. She's just really authentic and genuine. She's like a comedian and she's just a mom from like I think like Kentucky or I don't know. She's from like somewhere really random and she's just so great and is all about like embracing your imperfections, coming as you are kind of thing. That's the vibe that I look for when I follow someone. It's just like someone that's authentic. I don't want the polished. And, we're all friends with some people that post the polished stuff, but it's nice to have the refreshing people in your feed.
I feel like on TikTok, like on my For You page, there will be every once in a while like a mom. There's this mom that I watch and she just puts her camera up and she'll make meals for her kids.
Oh my God.
And it's like so random and raw.
Wait,
and
I know who you're talking about and I fully just followed her the other day.
Yes, I follow her too. And I'm like, why? I'm like, what is it about? Because I'm not probably her typical like demo.
I love it.
But something about how raw it's almost like I'm a fly on the wall.
Yes, and there's no like she doesn't have music. There's just
she doesn't even address the camera.
No, literally.
She's not like, hey guys.
I just followed her like 2 days ago. I'm not even kidding.
And she's like, what the heck do you like stinkers want? Like she's talking to her kids.
Yeah. And it's so great.
Yeah.
It's that authentic and it's just like you got to pay attention to just how you feel when you watch something and does it make me feel bad or good? And then that's how you kind of can guide like who to follow.
She kind of reminds me of like, how you're saying like, oh, my cool older friend went to IU, so I went to IU. Like this mom, I don't even know her name, but she reminds me of like, I want to be that cool of a mom. Like I don't know who you are, but I need to follow so I can like get some tips.
I totally agree with that.
Before I have children.
I know. I love following mom. No, I like high key love following moms. Like, and I'm like, the moms these days are just so cool. Like they're just doing it. Like they're doing the damn thing.
I hope that I am making those elaborate ass. Yes. I hope my hardest part of the day is making that damn lunch.
I know. With the bento boxes, with the notes and the lunch box
and
in
the
back.
Stencils.
Oh my God, too good. Yeah, like stenciling out a PB&J.
They're like it's National Dinosaur Day, so the whole lunch is themed dinosaur. I'm like, how do these moms do it all?
It's crazy. It's so crazy.
It's
like
so unbelievable.
Mad props to them.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Carly, what are you like? What moves are you making in your life currently? Are you trying to get into a different area with social media? Are you trying to, what are you trying to do right now for your life?
So my like passion has always been like motivational, like speaking. It was always like writing and that kind of thing, but really like I love to speak and I love to like inspire others. So I've been for the last couple years like talking to sororities about like mental health and body image.
Wait, I love that.
I do like panels and stuff and high schools as well. So I'm going to like a high school soon in Jersey to like go in person and actually talk to them. And that's where I really feel like
fulfilled.
I feel the most fulfilled when I do that. So I'm like, I just want to do more of that. Like talking to young women and like, because when I look at them, I'm like, that was literally me. And like, I wish I had that person. So I just like want to be that person to inspire young girls to be like the best versions of themselves.
I love that. And it's like you're literally going to be that girl that you were looking up to.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is cool.
Like I wish I had that. And I can only hope that I'm like half of, what I needed.
Mm-hmm. And then last thing, because I feel like you've just been slaying TikTok, like what advice for someone that wants to get into TikTok? They're a little scared. Maybe they're in college. They're nervous about what their friends are going to say. Like what advice do you have for them starting out on social media and trying to make it a career?
A, what I said before, just like being consistent, just like putting it out there, and B, like knowing that like if you're gonna do it, you just genuinely cannot care what people think. And if you have something in your brain that cares or that's holding you back, you either need to like work through that or you need to like not do content. Because if you care what people think before you even start, just wait until you're actually doing it and you have all these followers that then care and all these people that don't even know you that are care. So it's like I just tell people like know what you're getting yourself into, because a lot of the time people don't realize like what it comes with. And just like so like literally off the bat being like, if you want to do this, you have to dedicate yourself to it and not give a crap what other people think. Like put that aside and do it for you, because people are laughing at you until you're successful and then they want to get drinks with you.
Yes.
Like so it's like just do you.
Then they're in your DMs.
Then you're in there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love that. This has been fabulous. You shared so much knowledge and tips and tricks. I hope you enjoy your stay in LA.
Oh, thank you. This was the perfect intro to LA. I'm
good.
so happy.
I'm excited. You'll have the best time. Where can everyone follow you and listen to your podcast? Because she has a fabulous podcast, guys.
Thank you. Yes. You can follow me on Instagram at Carly_Weinstein, TikTok at Carly Weinstein1, and then our podcast, Hot Girl Talks Podcast, and Okay Stop Whining.
Yes.
Yeah.
She also has a podcast with her mom. I was just telling her.
I'm trying to ramp it up.
You don't understand. Like, I will listen.
Thank you.
Please, like, go off.
Okay.
With your mom too.
But like mainly, like Hot Girl Talks is like really popping off. So
yes, and I see the clips all the time on my For You page, so I'm always liking them.
Good.
Anyway, definitely check out Carly, and you guys know where to follow me. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Comment down below, rate or review if you're listening on all the audio platforms, and make someone's day this week. Love you guys. Peace.